One of the prize pick plays that I'm targeting for tonight is Jimmy Butler. Looking at his points, Miami's on the road versus Philadelphia. Butler just came out a couple days ago and said, I am tired of losing. He's a heavy favorite to go over 21.5. Of course, prize picks didn't give us 21.5. They gave us 22. So you got to take that in consideration. Even at 22, implied odds is the odds at 23 is minus 133. So 22, I would say, is probably the implied odds at 22. Let's push this up. The implied odds is minus 125 to go over, plus 125 to go under. Playing a decent defense. I expect Jimmy to have his A game tonight, so you got to take all that in consideration. But that is one of the players I'm looking at tonight. Second player I'm looking at is going to be Gary Harris, Orlando. They are facing New Orleans. New Orleans defense is middle of the road. Harris is points prop at 7.5. He's went over that 6 out of 10 times in his last 10 games. In his last 5, not so good though. His last 5, only 40% of the time. Last game against New Orleans, he had 15 points. Pretty heavy favorite in the books to go over this, minus 130. You can get it at even money for under. So that's things to consider if you're considering on betting on this game or betting on this prop. Third player I'm looking at is going to be Terry Rozier. And we're looking at his rebound prop of 4 on prize picks, 3.5 at the books. He's minus 165 plus 135 to go over 3.5 rebounds. Adding that 4 that prize pick add, it does make it kind of interesting. So let's look at it at 4. At 4, still he's got over this prop 4 out of 9 times in the last 10 games. Last game against Miami, 0 rebounds. That concerns me a little bit. But they're facing a bad defense tonight in Detroit. So something to look at. Again, like I said, take all that into consideration. Pretty heavy favorite to go over 3.5 at minus 165. That may be something to look at the books. If you're looking for a sure thing. Fourth player I'm looking at is Joel Embiid. Another prop where the prop at the books is 11.5. Prize picks give us to us at 11, which was better. He's went over 11 5 out of 8 times in his last 10 games. He is playing a good team when it comes to offensive rebounds. Overall defense against the center in Miami. But Miami is one of the worst in the leagues with giving up defensive rebounds, as you can see in the green here, the 22nd. So, Embiid's going to be focused. I know he don't like losing either. This is go time for him. He's went over 11 in 4 out of his last 5. So that's something to look at. Just keep that in mind when you're making your choice on which way you're going to go on this prop. And the last player I'm looking at is going to be Robert Williams for Boston. Boston is playing New York Knicks. Should be a great game. The prop for Williams on rebounds is 8.5. He's went over his 5 out of his last 10. He had 12 in his last game against New York. It's just only one game. He had 12. This game is in New York. Let's look at Mr. Williams on the road. 4 out of 10 in his last 10. His last 3 road games, he hasn't even came close to 8.5 rebounds. So those are things that we have to take into consideration and look at when we make these choices. Again, this should be a great game. If Williams don't get in foul trouble, I think this number could go over. If he does get in foul trouble, he can go under. So you have to take in consideration these away games. And let's look at the whole season for away. Last 30, only 30%. For the season, only 33%. So does he have a breakout game on the road tonight in New York? You know, we'll see. But those are a few plays that I like for the night. You want to get the exact way I'm going on some of these picks, you can go over to my Patreon channel and get that. But that is all I have for today. Go ahead and like, subscribe. All those things would be greatly appreciated. Until the next video, peace.